All right, back for another one, and we are live doing another live on Yuribruce podcast. We're just going to be talking about a few things here. I got a few questions some people ask me, and first let me address the elephant in the room. It's this COVID-19 stuff. Wow, how you guys doing out there? Hope everybody's doing all right, man. It's been pretty brutal watching the numbers and stuff. I was thinking today that I think maybe this is like I think maybe we're in a dystopian future. I think this is like a dystopian future for some of us. For some of us, it's dystopian future. So USA is at 500,000 people infected, 21,000 people dead, and did you know something like 40% of these 21,000 dead people are black? Yeah, crazy, right? It's really affecting black folks really hard. Really bad news for us. Dystopian future. Happy Easter, by the way. Hey, Philippines Paradise Chronicles, Bloody Pond, how you doing? Jay and Vina TV, hello, happy Easter. Sorry to start it off on such an unhappy note. Yeah, that is crazy and sad, man. Brutal news. You guys know anybody affected by it, like who's had it? Like I said last week, like I think we may have already had it. The symptoms were very strange and kind of out of nowhere. So we actually may have had it in this household, which is uh, really Yuri and the kids got the worst of it. Happy Sunday, guys. Let me see if I can start up this chat box real quick. Give me a second while people are coming in. I got some questions I'm going to answer. Some folks have asked me on chat. Let me see here. Looking for my chat box. Chat display. Where is it? How are you guys doing though? You guys know anybody who's affected by this or anybody who has it, or do you think you've had it? Have you gotten your stimulus checks yet? What's going on? We haven't gotten ours yet. Been watching it, but somebody who contacted me actually said that they did get their stimulus check. Somebody who was married to a Filipina, and I don't want to put his business out on the street, so I'm not going to mention any names, but he's married to a Filipina, and I believe he got her here last year, and I think he filed taxes with her and their kid on it, and he got the money for them both. So that's good news. And I don't know. I think some of the stimulus checks are being like advanced by banks. Some banks are able to give in advance, and then when the money comes in, they just. I think that's what's happening, but I'm not totally sure. But yeah, somebody contacted us said that they already got it. Where is? Oh, there it is. Okay, I was looking in the wrong area there. Give me a second. I'm gonna put this chat box up. Mike T Man, how you doing? Instigator, how you doing? Just putting this chat box up real quick so you guys can see people talking. Hope everybody is doing all right with this COVID-19 stuff. Take it serious because people really are dying out there. Art, Code Drones, how you doing, man? Stay safe in Denver. Daryl Charity, how you doing? Thanks for your donation, sir. I haven't received my stimulus check yet. Have not received my stimulus check into my account yet. Yeah, me neither. Anybody get the stimulus check yet? Curious. Let's get a count here to see if it's come through. Instigator said, "Hey Bruce, what's up? I have a question. Will my wife and I get a stimulus check if they have not got an SSN yet, but we are married and did not claim them on my ITN?" Instigator, I'm not absolutely sure about that. Last week they asked somebody asked a similar question, but I can tell you that somebody who contacted me who who his wife is now here in the States. They have a child together, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'll ask him when he comes on, if he comes on. Believe he got a check for both him and his spouse. I believe in their child too, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, but I think that they are married, so that means that they already have a SSN. I don't know that you get one if they don't. If they've never filed for taxes, don't have an SSN, because I don't imagine the IRS won't know how. There's no way to get it to them. They won't have any traceability on them. So I don't think that they would, if I had to guess. But I could be totally wrong. Don't take my word for it. Philippines Paradise says stimulus checks deposits start at midnight tonight. All right, that's good news to know. Good news to know. That by the way, Philippines Paradise sent me a really good link. A guy who's really been updating people on what's going on, and he's like a tax guy. Let me see if I can find that guy. Really good information. I'm gonna see if I can find some quick information on what's going on with the stimulus check. If you go to irs.gov, they have some information for you. Hey, Derek F., we're talking about the stimulus check. And somebody asked on here, if anybody, actually this question goes out to anyone. Instigator is saying, he's saying that, will my wife and I get a stimulus check if they are not, if wife and I get a stimulus check if they have not gotten an SSN yet, if she has not gotten an SSN yet, but they're married and he did not claim them but with an ITN. Oh, with an ITN number. He claimed them with an ITN number. So I'm not sure if you did claim them on. You did claim them. Okay, you did claim them on your taxes with an ITN number. Maybe I'm not absolutely sure about that. But if I would go to irs.gov and check this site right here to see what you're looking at. Yeah, I think if you did claim them on your taxes, I think you will get it. But don't quote me on that. Go to irs.gov to see what's going on with it. They have this site here where you can check it out. And I'm looking for this other dude who's got really good information that you could watch on YouTube, promoting that guy's channel. He's got some great information. His name is Tax something or other. Stimulus, and I believe he's like a business guy that talks about the stimulus checks. Here he is. His name is Clear Value Tax. Yeah, here it is right here. Yeah, if you didn't know, follow this guy right here. This dude right here, and his name is, if you just type in stimulus, IRS stimulus checks, he comes up. He's trending number 7, so imagine he's like number 1 when you type this in. Check this guy out. He's got great information. He's always keeping updated. This was updated like today. Yesterday rather. And I believe somebody said he just did a new update recently. So this is all of his content. Really good information on tax stuff. And he's been really hitting it hard on what to do and what information that goes into stimulus checks. Check this guy out. His name is Clear Value Tax. And follow this guy. I need to follow him too. There you go. Let me see. Got some more people talking here. The scapegoating has begun, and we're going after the ones with the least amount of power. No context. Don't know what you mean by that, so I'm just going to keep moving on. Luckily, I didn't know anyone who have it. Thank God. Yeah, we're doing all right. Some people are asking me how we're doing. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Just one of the things I wanted to talk about is I know a lot of people, and unfortunately, especially minorities are hit really hard by this. And I think it's because our collective place in American society. Um, the poorest are getting hurt the worst, you know what I mean? And we happen to be some of the poorest people here, so you know what I mean? So that's what's happening. Let me see if there's any more information on the stimulus. Here's the link to the stimulus update. Thanks for that, Philippines Paradise Chronicles. Appreciate that. Let me see if there's anything else about the stimulus, just in case there's some good information here. Derek F says, I don't think so. I know my wife has an SSN and I claimed her and my daughter and got money back. All right, yep. So there's somebody who got the money back for the stimulus check right there. So yeah, so if this helps you at all, Instigator, so Derek F actually put his wife and child on his last tax return, and so he was given the stimulus check based on his last tax return. So you may get it since you did claim her on your last tax return and you did have the use an ITN. So maybe hopefully that helps. And somebody just sent me, Philippines Paradise Chronicle sent me a update on this. Let me just, whoops, I just hit the wrong thing here. Let me try that again. Thanks for that link, by the way. Appreciate that. Oh, here we go. This is for non-filers. If you have not filed before, there's information here. See if it has information for others. Yeah, this is for non-filers. That's good information right there. So if you didn't file a tax return, this is who is eligible for it, who is... So yeah, check that link out. This is more great information for you guys. Let me see if there's more information here. What if I just go to... Here we go. Okay, so here's another site that the IRS has. This one looks pretty good too. It's basically irs.gov/corona. And this takes you to this site right here. It tells you the economic impact, last updates on corona tax relief. So this is some more information. Just go directly to irs.gov, but there are also some great people on YouTube who are keeping us updated on what's going on. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says the poor are always getting stuff by the rich. Yeah, it's our system, man. I wish that's something we can fix. You know, I wish that it would start with taking money out of politics. And whoever does that, man, they're gonna get my vote. So it's got to stop. It's really got to stop. This is really pointing out a lot of flaws in our system. It's just too bad. It really is too bad. Daryl Charity says, I'm taking this pandemic seriously, Bruce. Yeah, me too, man. Stimulus. So yeah, if you missed the information, stimulus should be dropping tonight. Philippines Paradise Chronicle says stimulus direct deposits start at midnight tonight. Okay. But you know, keep in mind there's 100 million, there's 300 million people to pay, so it's probably gonna take a while. Let me see. Somebody said, I've noticed that people who are most vocal about not discriminating against Asians because of the virus are now very quiet to what's happening over in China and Africans. I'm not sure. I'm not sure like what you mean by that. China's numbers seem to have stopped. So apparently they don't have any more infections. There's no more deaths. China seems to be fine. So I don't know what you mean by that. If you believe their numbers. Let me see. Yeah, so we've now have more deaths and more people infected than Italy. By the time this stops, I think it's gonna be double what the numbers we're seeing now. It's gonna be double. It's gonna get ugly. Because even with it, I know it's not going up anymore as far as I think it's only like 31,000 people a day being infected. That's not good, but it's not going up anymore. Before, it was just going up and up and up. Like, it was going from 10,000 a day to 15,000 a day to 20,000. So it seems like it's kind of leveled off, but I don't know. This is going to be a wild ride. This looks ugly. You know. Let me see. I'm going to read some more stuff here. Happy Easter to everybody. Hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. We do this every Sunday at around this time to around 6. Master 8 Metal Vlogger. How you doing, man? Just kind of reading through comments here. TurboTax has a link on their website. Oh, TurboTax. I bet they have some information on that. I want to check that out. Unfortunately, as long as we have greedy politicians, the poor will always be forgotten, Bruce. Very sad. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, money needs to be taken out of politics. It seems to be the source of a lot of this, I think. Money in politics, right? Because if you think about it like this, like, guys that are being elected, they're not really going after the interest of the people who are the constituents. They're going after their biggest donors. So the biggest paying constituents is who they are serving. And that goes from the Congress to the Senate to the president. So, and it's very clear in their language when they talk, especially about this pandemic. They always keep talking about pushing to open things up, right? And I know, yeah, we're in an economic crunch, but when it comes to, like, let's give people money, they took a good portion of that $2 trillion and gave that to, but when it comes to, like, things like what Andrew Yang was suggesting, which is to do a freedom dividend where you're just constantly giving out the money to people who need it, that seems to be, they don't want to talk about that. And it's like, man, there's people hurting out here, like, there's really people hurting. It's not all good, I mean, I know, like, you guys, some of you guys and I mean, I'm doing all right financially. But I can see that people are hurting, and it's just unfortunate. It's the greed that's really tearing this. It's not good, man. It's just not good. We just have to start electing people who care about us, not just the corporations. I think it's okay to do things for corporations, but, like, not at the expense of people. I just don't think that is right at all. And that seems to be the direction we're going in this country. It's just sad. Philippine Paradise Chronicle says, if you have received your 2019 ITR through direct deposit, you'll be the first to get the stimulus. Good to know. Yeah, we should be getting it real soon then, because that's got mine through direct deposit. Derek says, yeah, but you really can't trust China about any damn thing to CC. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with the fact that they hit it, you know what I mean? Like, maybe the numbers are correct now. Maybe they really are getting the numbers down and everything. But initially, if they hadn't kind of sugar-coated the information, if they had been upfront about the information, I don't think it would be this bad for the world. Not just for the U.S., but for the world. Because a lot of people are going to get hurt by this. As bad as it's going to hit the U.S., we have an infrastructure, right? Some countries could get hit really bad that don't have an infrastructure. That places like India, India, if this goes crazy on India, it's going to be ugly, man. I really hope that they don't get hit as hard as we have, because something like this in India, where they don't have the infrastructure, or even the Philippines, they don't have the numbers, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the any of that stuff that we have. So, as bad as it is here and as inept as our leadership and our government is, the governors and the states are actually able to, states like California is able to stave off the worst of this pandemic. But some, I imagine, like some provinces. Did you hear what happened with in the Philippines, where Rodrigo Duterte said, President Rodrigo Duterte said, if he said, if you catch somebody after curfew, shoot them dead. Did you hear about that? Damn. But yeah, we got our own problems, so I'm not one to judge what's going on over there. Philippines Paradise says I had corona in 2018. Are you serious, or are you 2018? Worse than pneumonia. Oh, so you had some form of corona? I know it's not new. There's some are you talking about you had some sort of respiratory issue? Is that what you mean? Jill Charity says I gave most of my money. They gave most of the money to big business. Yeah, they sure did. They sure did. Mr. Mike T. Man said postal workers are starting to suffer the most. Excuse me, for first responders, the people that keep this nation going. Yeah, just unfortunate. Did you hear about? This is crazy. Did you hear about some of the fast food? Watch the fast food. If you're eating fast food, man, be careful, because Domino's, Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, all these fast food chains, some of the workers are like protesting and sending out messages saying that they're not, in some cases they're not allowed to use a mask, which is really strange. And then some of them are like running out of soap. I saw this the other day and I was like, man, I'm not eating there no more. That's it. I'm done. They can't take enough. The worst part of it is they can't take leave. So they can't take they don't have a 14-day like reprieve. Like if you get sick, 14 days off to recover. They don't have that. And then another place, I want to say, I'm not sure about Walmart, but I heard Amazon had the same thing where they're, let me see if I can find that. Yeah, I won't be eating in no fast food places anytime soon. McDonald's and workers, corona virus. Let me see. See if I can find it. It was when I saw this news, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is positive COVID-19 test in LA McDonald's leads to statewide fast food strike." That was 2 days ago. Yeah, this is part of what I was reading. We're risking our lives. Corona takes toll on essential workers still on the jobs. This is what somebody just said. Despite the new corona laws, workers are at these big companies say that they, this is BuzzFeed right here, so take this with a grain of salt, say that they still must work sick or lose pay. Yeah. So if you're out, they're not going to pay you. Corporate America, man. As a server at a combination Dunkin' and Baskin Robbins in South Georgia, Mickey Lewis made $8 an hour, which amounted to around $850 a month after taxes. After $375 in rent, around $100 in utilities, and $200 in gas, groceries, and car insurance, the 22-year-old usually had $40 to $50 wiggle room to pay for. Oh my goodness, that is so ridiculous. And now he can't take time off even for a day or anything. This is what's happening for a lot of people, unfortunately, in the U.S. That you're getting paid these very low wages. They won't. The wages haven't increased in a few decades, and meanwhile, it's harder and harder to live here. This COVID-19 stuff just exacerbates and exposes a lot of issues that have been happening in the U.S. for a really long time. It's just unfortunate. I really feel bad for people, man, and that's why it's imperative, man. If anybody, you know what, anybody listening to this, one of the things that have helped me and Yuri out is that we have all these side hustles. I think that in this day and age, it's really hard to make it on one income. So any kind of way that you can make money in other ways, do it. Whether it's creating content, selling products, selling services, any kind of side hustle, getting your spouse to work, any kind of side hustle that you can get, any kind of extra income you can get, that's the way to do it here in the U.S. Because this economy is not built for us. It's not built for normal people. It's not built for regular workers. It's not built for employees. And it's just getting worse. We're a service economy that doesn't take care of our servers, and it's just unfortunate. So just get more than one income coming in, because I don't see that this is gonna get better, man. I hope so. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't. Less. Somebody said it's almost impossible to make it on one income. Yeah, Daryl Charity, I agree. You have to have multiple streams of income, and that's the only way to have stability in this country. You know, I first realized it. I was talking to Yuri about this today. When I got out of the military, you know, military takes care of you. Don't get paid a lot in the military, but they take care of everything. You know, it's a communist dictatorship in the military, but you're taken care of. You know, I mean, that's what you sign up for. It's voluntary military. But when I got out of the military, I was really surprised when my wife at the time, ex-wife now, got sick and was out in the hospital. And I told my job, I was newly hired. I'd been hired for like 2 weeks. And I said, went to the company. I won't name the company. And I said, hey, my wife, I've got a kid, you know. And I said, I have to take care of my kid. My wife is in the hospital. And you know how, like, in corporate America, it takes you like months to build up any kind of leave. And some companies don't give you a lot of sick time when you you might have like a day or two, maybe three, right? So I was like, hey, is there something you guys can do? They said, okay, look, how about you take the next couple days and then go take care of business. And then when you get back, we'll work it out. So that's what I did. Took a couple days. Turns out my wife at the time was in the hospital longer than that. And my kid, like, I had to take care of my kid. And there was no work from home at that time for me. So I went back to him and said, hey, she's going to be in the hospital for like another 4 or 5 days, like maybe a week. They don't know, right? We didn't know which way it was going to go. She had to have surgery and stuff like that. And then there was some complications. So she was in the hospital for a long time. The medical bills that I received after that, even with insurance, that's a whole different story. It was ridiculous. I had to pay for ambulance, anesthesia, surgery, you name it. So you can only imagine how expensive it was. It took me years to pay it off. I'll just put it to you that way. Anyway, back to the story. So I went back to the company. I was like, hey, listen. I said, I just need like a few more days. I'll make up the time, whatever you guys need from me. I'm a hard worker, you know, I need to take care of my kid, right? And I just moved to the state of Colorado. So I didn't, I suppose I could have maybe had a babysitter. I didn't really know people, right? And my boy, who I'm super close with, he has to work full time, so he can't take care of my kid. So I'm like, I went to the company and said, please, is there something you can do? They said, well, according to the policy, there's nothing we can do for you. You could take leave without pay. I'm like, I just bought a house. You know, I have utilities. I'm fresh out of the military. I'm not used to this new life, this new American, you know, dystopia that I'm injected into. So right then I realized that, number one, companies don't give a damn about you. They don't care. They didn't care about me. Didn't care about my family. Don't care about my kid. They don't care. And I was like, man, I got to do for myself. So I started figuring out side hustles. My first side hustle was I was going to start doing pizzas. I was going to work in the daytime, and then on the weekends, I was going to start delivering pizzas in at night and stuff. And I was making okay money, right? It was probably average, what the average American makes, a little bit more maybe at the time. But there's just all these things kept coming up. And I'm like, man, it's hard to keep up with all the stuff going on. And so I started doing these side hustles. My first side hustle was like I was thinking about doing delivering pizzas, and I was like, you know what? There's got to be something else. So I just went on the internet, started researching it, and then at the time, this was in 2006 or 2005 or something. Blogging was really big, so I started doing blogs. And what happened was I created a blog, and the blog started making money. Like it was only an extra like $1,000 a month, right? But it was super helpful. Like there were times when we lived off of that extra blog money. And so then the blog started doing really good to where I was getting hired as a consultant to do other things, you know. So that in the blog did really good. And then I started thinking about other things I could do. So I started branching off. Ever since then, I started trying other things and branching off. And I tried stocks, bitcoins. If you follow me for a while, you've seen me actually try some of these things and fail miserably at some of them, but some of them actually have done really well. And so like that's just have more than one income, multiple streams of income, because this economy, these people, these leaders, they don't care about workers. They don't. And if you don't believe me, if you think that they care about you, think about their policies. Think about that $2.2 trillion, that $2 trillion, whatever it is, that went out. That money mostly went to businesses. Most of it went to businesses. We got maybe, I don't know, 25, 30% of it. Those stimulus checks, think about this. Other countries, like Canada is paying, I want to say $2,000 per person. Now they have less population than the state of California, so take it for what it's worth. But Canada is paying for people to live. US is about to pay you one check. What are you going to do next month? We got to do for ourselves. These people are not trying to take care of us. So get more than one income. All right, let me see here. Got some more comments here. Mike T. Man said, yes, Bruce, have multiple streams of income. You must diversify. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Daryl says, I do have more than one source of income, Bruce. Yeah. Amen. Thank God, man. Thank God. And you know, us minorities, especially us black men, man, who are super affected by this, man. It's on us. We can't expect, I was just thinking, I know it's going to be a controversial thing to say, but us and the Native Americans, like one of the things that we do that's really bad is that we trust the government to do things. We're like, yeah, the government, once we get the stimulus check, it's going to be better. Once the government does this and that, listen, you can't rely on the government. This is from somebody who worked with them. You can't rely on them, man. Like it will be great if they'll fix the roads. It will be great if they fix the water supply. It will be great if they do all that stuff, but honestly, we can't rely on them no more. We got to do for ourselves, man. And that's the one thing that, people who are doing well, they don't rely on the government. They do for themselves. And that's why they continue to do good. And we, African Americans, men especially, and Native Americans, man, we can't rely on the government. You can't trust them. You can't trust what they say. They make all these agreements. It'll be all in law. And then they'll cheat you. They won't do it. We can't rely on them. We got to do for ourselves. We got to make our own businesses. We got to make our own streams of income. Don't rely on them for anything. If they do it, if they help you out, great. But don't rely on them. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news and be negative, but man, it's the truth. I just wish more people knew that. I wish more people had that mindset of that's the thing about immigrants. Immigrants don't play these stupid games with the government. They just come here and work their ass off and do well. Many of them come here and do well, and that's the reason why. All right, I had a question I wanted to address. Somebody asked me a pretty good question here. They said, and I want to see if I can lead them in the right direction. They said, ask me a question about, okay, here it is right here. She said, her name is Mary. She says, Bruce, good afternoon, sir. My husband is a U.S. citizen, and there is a ban on my country. I think it's Nigeria. I think she's talking about Nigeria. So Nigeria and several other countries that are they just happen to be mostly Muslim, by the way. They're banned. So she's saying, ban on my country. How do I go about it since we are married for over 3 years now? I imagine what you mean, Mary, is how do you guys go through this process of you getting here? Or is that what you're trying to do? I'm assuming that you're trying to get here to be with your husband, or for him to go there with you. So I did a little bit of research on this. And the question is, if you're in a banned country, how do you go through this process? Now, Mary, if I were you, now listen, I'm just some random guy, and I appreciate you thinking that I can answer this question for you. And I did do some research. I thought maybe it would be a quick thing to do, but I'm going to give you a few resources where you can research this yourself and get it straight from the horse's mouth. So here's a couple of places. One is called visajourney.com, and what you do is search Visa Journey and figure out if, and this goes for anybody who's from a banned country or you're going through the process and there's some kind of complications. Let me give you two really good resources. One is Visa Journey. The reason why Visa Journey is so good is they have this really good forum where people tell what's going on with their process. And in looking at their process, a lot of times it matches up with your own process. This is what I did when me and Yuri were going through this process some 5 years ago, 4 years, however long ago it was. And it worked for us. So that's one thing that you can do. Go to visajourney.com. But the other thing you want to do is go to your embassy. Okay, I'm not the person to ask. It's okay to listen to people on the internet. It's okay to do research and watch YouTube videos about people talking about their process and all that stuff, and go to Visa Journey and look at what's going on. But really, what you need to do is go to the U.S. Embassy in your country. Now, if it's in Nigeria, whatever country was banned, like right now I'm on the Nigerian page, and I don't know, you didn't specify what country you're from, but this is a banned country. Unfortunately, it's a banned country. So Nigeria, whether you're from Iran, whatever country you're from, go to, and I don't think, some countries don't even have an embassy. I don't think Iran and North Korea have an embassy, U.S. embassy. I think they have to do their stuff in another country, like Sweden or Switzerland or something like that. They have to do their stuff. If it's even possible to do it from there, they will do it from another adjacent country. So Nigeria, as an example, does have a U.S. embassy, so I would contact them directly. Now, I can tell you right now, whether you're going through a K1 visa or you're going the CR1 visa or whatever, travel visa, whatever you're trying to do, right now, nothing's happening because of COVID-19. So, and that is, here's the site right here. USCIS is one of the main components of doing green cards, visas, all that stuff. So it's on lockdown, it's shut down. So you're not going to be able to do a lot here, but this is another good source where you can actually get information. It's shut down until right now, May 23rd, and they've got more information about what's going on. Offices are temporarily closed, so I imagine everything's on hold for right now. So they even talk about all the stuff that they do for you. So I hope that answers your question, Mary, about what places to go to and who to ask about this to get a final answer. And of course, another thing you can do is go talk to an immigration lawyer if you happen to have the resources for that. Immigration lawyer is a good bet if you have the money to do that. All right, let me keep answering questions here and reading comments. Philippine Paradise Chronicle says Nigeria is banned by many countries due to widespread illegal documents that are being distributed to get visas. Then that could be true. Like a lot of people that have contacted us over the years, Yuri and I, when we were helping out people with the visa process, we noticed a lot of women would get scammed, and that wasn't even the end of it. A lot of women would get scammed by Nigerian dudes doing marriage fraud, and then there's also some stuff going on going on with the government, and so that I'm sure had something to do with Nigeria. I was just kind of cherry picking an example, but unfortunately, stuff like that hurts the citizens, and that's what's happened with Nigeria. So I can't speak for any of the other countries that are on the ban list, but Nigeria probably has something to do with some of that stuff that was just mentioned. And somebody said, Philippine Paradise Chronicle says the ban won't apply to married couples. Yeah, and I believe you're correct, Philippine Paradise, because when I go to Visa Journey, I can see people who are from some of these countries. They were able to get their spouses with their spouses one way or another. I don't think it was probably an easy process, but there is still a process nonetheless. So that's at least one positive thing for people who happen to be affected by all that. At the end of the day, the way I figure it is that people are just, they don't care about, I don't care about half the shit. My government, our government does things that I don't personally agree with, right? And it's the same thing in Nigeria. Like you have an honest, hardworking person who happened to have fallen in love with somebody from overseas, and now they're affected by some dumb shit that their government is doing, right? It's not their fault, but unfortunately, like them, we have to pay the price being under the rule of law, and that's just how it goes. Mr. Mike T Man says, Bruce, I think those that get the stimulus check to, I think those that get the stimulus checks to start up a neighborhood co-op. You're saying that use the stimulus check to start up like a neighborhood co-op? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of if you have the means to do it, like use your stimulus check to do something to start some kind of side hustle. Derek F says, I think people on welfare and SSI, their income hasn't changed from the virus, so I don't know. Our government only cares about big business. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't. One could make an argument in that direction. Philippines Paradise says, buy and sell what you know and learn scrap metals. Yes, whatever, like I would say, whatever you're good at, whatever skills that everybody has some sort of a skill, some sort of something that they can do better than others. You can use those as services or skills to have some extra income. And in this day and age, like you could literally make a YouTube channel, or make, not even YouTube, Instagram, whatever. You can literally make a channel and start selling products with that channel. It's not necessarily about AdSense either. Like AdSense really doesn't pay a lot at all. You can't live off of it unless you have like 1 million subscribers, and even then, right now people getting hit like 35% of their money is gone, because it's shared income, but you share it with Google. But what YouTube and Instagram are really good at is marketing. So if you have a product, you can make videos, and then you could market whatever service or product you have with YouTube. And that is where YouTube is incredible. Video is one of the most incredible marketing things that you can do. So in this day and age, like, you can really have a side income with services and products. You need a good service and product that's worthy of people to pay for it. But once you have it, you use YouTube, make videos about your free product or service, and you can get sales off of that. So that's just one thing that you can do. Another one is real estate, by the way. That's a real good one. All right. I thought I had something else to address aside from that one. Um, and I think that is it. The only thing I wanted to say is, if you guys are watching this, I know um, a lot of black men follow me, and I just want to say, guys, be careful because it's really killing a lot of us. Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but I've been digging into this, and the numbers aren't showing like how many black men are being killed by this. The numbers aren't showing it, but please be careful out there. Um, Protect yourself. Wear a mask when you're out and about. Wash your hands, because it may not affect you, but it could affect somebody right? And I think it's because we're dying off faster because there's so many. A lot of us have high blood pressure. A lot of us have diabetes. A lot of us have obesity. A lot of us have all of these different ailments that already were affecting us, and a lot of us don't even go to the damn hospital because it's too expensive. I'm just telling the truth. We don't go to the hospital on a regular basis. We just man up and just deal with it, and unfortunately, this one right here takes advantage of that. So, all right, guys, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate everybody. Thanks, Philippine Paradise Chronicles. Thank you, man, for all your information. Great information. Daryl Charity, always thank you, man, for always attending these things and your input. Mike T, man, thank you so much. Instigator, thank you so much. Jay and Vina TV, thanks everybody. I will see you guys next week. Please take care of yourselves. Wallace Life, please take care of yourselves out there. Wear a mask, wash your hands, be careful. Socially isolate as much as possible. I'm out of here.